Welcome back, Internet. Keeney coming to you with a case study today. The world has brought to us the 2017 Chevrolet Express 2500 with the 4.8 liter flex fuel V8. The story goes the engine is a no crank. History. Vehicle was being driven normally. They parked it somewhere, and upon re-entry, they tried to start the vehicle, and the symptom was just there. The starter was replaced, and the Prindle display is missing. So it's got on the cluster the Prindle common or constant, and then it's got like a little LEDs or whatever under each gear position, and there are no LEDs there. Some stuff has been disassembled inside under the seat. I think there's a fuse box there, and there has been some sort of smell of electrical something inside the cab. Doesn't smell like a fire, I was told. I don't smell anything when I poke my head in, though he said it smelled like an amplifier or something running, just like warm electronics. That said, that is all I know. Oh, we got our Altel back, so for you frequent flyers, we will see if that thing blows up again. And yeah, so we'll use that on this, plug into it. Oh, that was one other thing I didn't write down. He said he hooked two scanners up to it and neither would communicate. I think they used Altel and the snap-on scanner and neither would communicate. So that may indicate a communication issue on the vehicle. That's what I know about it right now, so let's go ahead and get after it. And at first glance, we've got what looks like some sort of remote start wiring, something or other that somebody has unplugged. This is going to what looks like the OBD connector, a factory one, and a nice little Y cable in there. So this is the remote start OBD Y cable. So I reckon we'll plug in there first. I don't know if it's remote start or GPS. This guy's work truck, so whatever that thing is. No idea. Anyway, we'll try plugging there. If that don't work, we'll try plug in this side and see what happens. Yep, right off the bat, did not read VIN, so we'll paste that in there. VCMI did power up, so we definitely got power down there. And we will, I'll just run through this and see what it gathers. It looks like the Autel is still screwed up because we have network connection topology unavailable, so yay, thanks Autel. Inflatable restraints, some airbag stuff, remote control door lock, some tire pressures, and then that's it. That right there is probably a problem, and I don't know if this has a separate transcomputer. That's probably a problem. You know, a lot of these look like some CAN C-bus modules, if I had to take a guess. I'm going to try and fix this network issue, see if it'll give us a topology. But right off the bat, inflatable should be interior, remote control door lock should be interior, instrument clusters interior, radio interior. All that looks like interior modules, so it seems like we have a CAN C issue, I would think. Well, a quick tool reboot, and it seemed to temporarily fix this issue. Just Autel's getting on my nerves a little bit, I gotta tell you. Just the same, assuming their diagram is mostly accurate, which we don't guarantee, but that's fine. This is a pretty good idea. Well, it should be all our CAN-C modules definitely are not responding. We got some interior stuff, so for sure we're still plugged in on this, dirty side or whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead and just hit the bus analysis that I don't use too often. Oh yeah, we got to go through all these next because we did a factory reset and everything. Oh, and then we have to close this window because we can't use them at the same time. Anyway, 6:14. Let's hit the play button. Oh, that's cool. Okay. And then view waveform. And that does look kind of funky, doesn't it? Let's zoom out a little bit. It looks like super, super repetitive. And this is pin 6. Oh, look at that. Not only is it super repetitive, we're at 0 to half a volt. Well, that's a big fat problem, wouldn't you say? And that's the tall one. Interesting. Let's look at can low. I assume it's going to look pretty similar. It does, in fact. So we'll hit stop on that. Yeah, it's trying to talk, but it definitely cannot. 0 to negative half a volt. For sure, that's an issue. So I'll take a screenshot of this and then we will move our plug around. That's all we have plugged in behind this little Y cable deal. And it looks like we still have the same issue on there's can low, there's can high. Definitely still a problem for sure. That is not a successful message. Well, in that case, I guess we're going to pull a wiring diagram and start pulling CAN-C modules on this thing. Actually, before we do CAN wiring diagram stuff, we'll take a network resistance measurement. My just in case you're wondering, my scope leads are all taped underneath that truck because we're doing a bunch of chassis stuff on it. So we're running here to our breakout box with some meter leads. It'll work. But anyway, we'll let the network go to sleep, and then we'll do a resistance check and see what our CAN resistance is. Well, that is a problem for certain. We are on 6 and 14. And actually, when I first done this, it was at 80 ohms. So it's possible that one of the modules wasn't fully asleep. We were watching the scope and the activity went away, but we don't know if one module is still trying to bias the bus because, it seems to be shorted. And then 38 ohms is too little for sure. That's a weird number. It's not 120. And certainly ain't 60. So let's go now figure out where our resistors are in this bus. I wonder if this is just a common ABS issue underneath, but we'll pull a wiring diagram, figure out where the resistors are. So interesting enough, it dropped or raised to 60. Interesting, was not really anticipating that, but we got our wiring diagram. Looks like our end resistors, one's in the engine computer, and then one is in the transmission valve body. And I think the ABS module, electronic brake modules in between. So it seems like a good place to go. I think they're fairly common. We'll just go under, disconnect that, and then check both sides of this network and see if any of it gets improved. Well, at first glance, this already does not look super healthy. Got some peeling coming out here, though I don't see like anything's really leaking out of it. And the other side looks normal for now, so we'll get that connector out and pin her out for CAN bus. Well, quick point to note, looks like someone has been here. This red tab is kind of crushed in or missing a zip tie, and as soon as I tried to pull that out, the whole thing actually started to separate a little bit, like the cover is coming off of it. So I don't know if we're the first ones here. Yeah, definitely not the first one there. All of this just kind of came apart, but nonetheless, we've got channel, well, red is just hanging out here. I haven't actually plugged into anything. And then this is our DLC channel. So I was looking at pin 6. And we should be able to wiggle this out. Oh, yeah, buddy. Looky there. Looky. We got hooky. See what those look like. Probably look, mostly good because we don't have resistors in there. Well, our time base is pretty fast. Yeah, it's looking pretty good for only having one resistor in the system. Looks like we've got a cough. Man, nothing like having a cough in the middle of the video. So we have pin 6 is good now, and so our issue is either here, here, or here. Let's go ahead and check our wires here. and see if they look about the same, and see if the transmission is trying to communicate with the rest of the car. Right, so as always, wiring diagram is wrong on the colors, but we found our can in and can out. I'm going to just set you up on the scope, and I'll call it out as it's happening. Channel D here is pin 6 at the data link connector, and then channel A, red, is going to be what I'm touching. So we will touch on our first one, and this one I believe is going to be going to the transmission, and so we can see the messages are different, but the messages are good. So if I stop this, when I say good, they're going to be noisy because we don't have all of our resistance in there, but we can see we definitely have messages coming across for sure, and they don't match because we are not on the same connected network. So essentially, this pin right here is going to pin 6 of the DLC, and that's what our yellow's reading. And so we've disconnected this computer, and even though we are disconnected, now we are reading here. And so I don't know if this has this module on it or not. It definitely has a trans computer, so this is a trans going to be trying to talk to the rest of the car. That's why the messages are going to be different. So I will then move from this pin to this pin, and we should see that the messages will be in fact the same, confirming. So we will zoom out a little bit there, and then let me move to the next pin. There it is. Now you can see messages are in fact the same. Yep, those look identical. We got loud sirens going by. So now what we're going to do to confirm whether this ABS module is the issue, because it doesn't look like it's coming from the other side. If the one we was measuring here was still super funky, then we'd start going after these modules, but very likely we got an ABS issue, so we're going to bypass this ABS module and see if we get all of our communication back. Right on, we got some jumper pins stuck in there. I'm going to jump them together and set you up on the scope at the same time so you can see what's up, see what kind of change we get. I got 4 things to plug in here. So here's the first one. Here's the second one. Ooh, already you can see some changes because we got half of the bus working. And plug in our third one, and then plug in our fourth one, and then what do those look like? So actually I'm going to take the red lead here, and then we will touch on, I don't know which one it is, but it looks like this is can low. We'll stop it. We'll zoom in. Oh yeah, super clean, super squared off. We got our checksum. Excellent. This looks beautiful. That's our issue. So we got an ABS module. It's taking on a CAN bus. We don't know if the motor's bad too, so we got to figure that out. So we'll hit play on this. Now I'm going to go to can high, I think. Should be can high. Then we should be able to zoom in on all this and see the same thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful square waves. Well, at this point, now we're going to have to check powers and grounds to this module and make sure it didn't like blow a fuse or something at the same time. And so I guess going to be about it for this one. Well, looky there. She auto ID'd and we got responses. Fuel pump, transmission, control module, transmission. Oh yeah, we did all the testing with the key off. So we'll save this, clear this, and then rescan it again. The only thing we should have is the loss of comm with the ABS module because it's bypassed, and then we'll do our power and ground checks. I guess I also just realized I never showed you the actual symptom, but you can trust me, it didn't crank. And only codes we got left right now for tire pressure monitor and loss of comm brake computer. I'm gonna check oil on this and it should fire up. Yep, oil's good. Let's see if she fires up. Oh yeah, that's running. Well, once again, the super awesome, amazing wiring diagram is wrong, but there's only 4 fat wires here and the pins are right. So the thing's got 2 powers and 2 grounds. One of the powers does not function. So here is a power in right now, then here is a ground 4-amp test light. Here's a second ground. That one also works. Now we're going to switch to the one with the wrong color, but it's supposed to be power. We'll touch both grounds again. We have nothing and we have nothing. So we are missing power on whatever pin that one is. So I assume this thing probably blew a fuse because it's probably all shorted out and it's probably why it looks all ugly and stuff. So let me figure out where that fuse is. Righto, wiring diagram, brake computer, and 2 powers come from B plus, a 40 amp and a 50 amp, and F2 UA and a F1 UA. Well, them FUs told me to F me because they ain't in here, but nonetheless, they are, we could probably pull the conversion, but we're not going to worry about it because 40 amp and 50 amp. Shouldn't be too many of those in there, and specifically JK fuse. We've got a very blurry, it says 40 amp and a 60 amp. So those are wrong, but numbers 1 and 2 are about, and they both say ABS. So ABS module, ABS motor, 1 and 2. Oh man, it's super blurry. 1 and 2. It's like those two right there. Let me pull them out and check them. And for sure, our 50 amp fuse is blown. You kind of see the cracks in it. Man, this thing is not. There you go. You can see it's split. So this is number 1, and so that's the ABS motor. So motor gets corrosion and junk in it, and it shorts out, and then takes out. When it shorts out, it like fries the module and stuff because the module they do connect together inside. I think that's going to be it on this one. I don't think we're going to get the repair on this one. I think it's going to go back to where it came from, but it needs ABS module and it needs an ABS motor, and then program it. That should take care of it. I don't know if we'll have to bypass that for them to drive it back or what have you. But realistically, I guess if we get the job, I'll film it. I don't think we're going to, but in any case, if we do, we'll leave that for bonus footage or whatever. Shout out PHAD. That's it. That's all I got for you in this one. I hope this was helpful. Pretty straightforward and a kind of a common issue. So I'll catch y'all up in the next video.